Hey, everybody, this is Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with us today Evan Rice, who's the president and COO of Rev.io. Evan, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me, Doug.
So, we're going to be talking about Rev.io, and we're going to be talking about how Rev.io is helping its clients catch on to the growth and activity that are happening in the market. And the big headline is this report that came out a little bit earlier this year about this surge of IT spending, something like $1 trillion that's going to be spent, new money spent in IT. But I think the big question is, can a lot of our listeners and watchers in the MSP community, telecoms community, catch on? So, Evan, we're going to be exploring that. But real quick, what is Rev.io?
Oh, thank you for asking. So Rev.io, we have been a billing and back office platform for communications and managed service providers in this space since 2002. I joined the organization in 2013. At that point, we were about 20 clients, most of them in traditional, voice services. And over the last little bit more than a decade, we've grown to now over 1,000 clients that are either communication service providers, managed service providers, or commercial and security integrators that are, working on site with their end customers. But we deliver the billing application for communications companies, primarily those that need to manage complex usage rating, sophisticated tax, which is a traditional challenge for the telecom community. We also offer a payments offering so that they can go not only full quote through, cash, but actually quote through payment. We also have a data and analytics platform so that they can glean intelligence from our applications. And most recently, we acquired a company called TigerPaw, which we are actively rebuilding this year into Rev.io's new AI-driven marketplace integrated PSA application.
So, let's dive right into it. It's one thing to be told, hey, everything's great. You won't believe the amount of growth that's about to happen. It's a whole other matter to make it actually relevant to your company.
It is. I think when we look at this, it's not just growth as we've traditionally seen it, but it really is a change in this marketplace. And it's something that we have been seeing for the last several years. And, I had personal experience with this. When I first started my career, I was with a communications company called CBeyond. We not only did T1 connectivity, if anybody remembers what that is, but we also offered, mobility. We offered managed services as well. And that, so this trend has been happening for a long time, but we've seen it accelerate recently. That what we call convergence, which is, you have the telecom reseller side, those who are delivering UCaaS, CCaaS services. We have our traditional IT channel of, what were VARs and have evolved into managed service providers. And those two industries are coming together, and we see, traditional IT MSPs who are launching voice practices. The proliferation of technologies like Microsoft Teams are driving that. And then we see our traditional communications clients who are offering things like Office 365, managed security, right? Ultimately, it's around clients or end customers want a trusted advisor, right? They want as few partners as possible. So I believe it's really the end customer, and in particular the enterprise, that is driving, we want you to do it all for us. So the way to take advantage of that growth is you have to have differentiated services, and that creates a lot of complexity inside of the business. And it ultimately leads to needing tools that can manage that for you.
So connect the dots for me. You mentioned earlier about the TigerPaw acquisition. How does TigerPaw acquisition and relevance and billing and growth, how is that all connected?
Well, you look at kind of where, TigerPaw originated, right? Which is they are potentially the original or one of the first, professional service automation platforms designed for their base at the time was very communications focused managed service providers, those that often worked on site and on premise on communications equipment. But therefore, that product being designed for that led to other, field services operations being able to take advantage of it. When you look at, like I mentioned, the traditional communications company who needs a sophisticated telecom billing platform like the RevIO billing application, as these markets are merging, you're starting to see these different providers offering, cross-sell services and blending to one another. So, our traditional platform is our communications billing suite. We have over 240 service providers that use that application. We have had consistent requests from those providers as they are expanding their managed service offerings that I need functions like contract management. As the market conditions have changed and there's an increased focus on profitability, not just on growth, I need to know down to the end customer, where am I profitable? I need to know down to the end project, where am I profitable? I need, sophisticated ticketing functions so that I can serve these clients really well across a broader portfolio that I'm delivering to them. So the acquisition of Tiger Paw was logical for us because RevIO billing has all the quote to cash functions, but where we really needed enhancement was in those areas of professional service and field service automation. So over the course of this year, we're going to completely modernize that platform and then fully integrate it into the RevIO billing suite, where we'll have the first and only, industry entrant that has full quote to cash through service and contract management and profitability functionality, with native AI to be able to drive where do you need to make changes, which customer projects are the most profitable, which are the least, which product offerings are delivering growth and profitability to your customer. And ultimately that culminates in our analytics suite that gives that business intelligence back to our clients so that they can optimize their companies and take advantage of what you just mentioned, which is massive growth in the market, but it's also significant change.
And you're calling this RevIO PSA?
That's right, RevIO PSA.
And when that's being put together, when it's finished, what's it going to look like?
Well, ultimately, it'll look very similar in terms of look and feel to the RevIO billing application, but we cross a variety of functions, right? Quoting, order management, ticketing, contract management, and agreement management, which is huge for managed service providers, right? I need to manage not only what equipment and what time am I doing for that customer, but what have I committed to, right? What are they prepaying for? Also, if I'm delivering services on site, I need field tech management, dispatch, optimization of scheduling. I need reporting and analytics so that I can use that information. So that will be fully connected into RevIO's billing suite, which is comprised also of quoting, order management, sophisticated usage rating, complicated tax automation. So those platforms will be combined to have a single 360 view of your customer, regardless of what service you're delivering to them.
And the big picture is in addition to billing and maximizing that relationship, it sounds like there's a lot of internal tools to sort of help you grow.
Absolutely. Workflow management, internal processes. These are things that exist in the RevIO billing application, but will certainly be strengthened and emboldened inside of PSA, where it very much is more focused on human resources, physical equipment and inventory that are being delivered to that customer. And again, both of those applications ultimately feed into RevIO's payment offering, where clients can have ability to pay through any different payment method, fully integrated into both of those applications, and ultimately not only just give you the visibility and faster reconciliation of those payments, but faster time to cash. We are ultimately settling faster than many of our competitors. So having all of that in one place, creates a lot of visibility. It allows you to have data in context versus having multiple siloed systems. So we believe having an end-to-end offering like that really will give our clients a strategic advantage compared to their competitors.
And that last thing is really huge because you're putting out, if you're an MSP, you're laying out lots of money every day. It's real important to get that cash in.
That's absolutely right. And having flexibility of how you bill, right? We think of it as something that, of course, people bill for everything they do, but oftentimes they don't, right? The better and more granular tracking of data, the ability to have flexibility to be able to bill equipment up front, but then delay, recurring service until milestones of a project are hit. Having systems that are purpose built and designed for the type of work you're doing, really does ultimately culminate in you billing more, growing revenue more quickly, growing revenue more profitably, which is RevIO's mission. Our mission is to help our clients grow revenue efficiently.
Well, Evan, I want to thank you for joining us today. This is went by really quick, but this has been a great, interesting tour about, a good reminder that a really good billing partner like RevIO can help actually do much more than just do good billing.
That's right. It's easiest to bill for services that you've delivered, right? And it's the quickest revenue that you can grow. It may seem common sense, but often it's not. But I'm very passionate about both communications and managed service providers. We're super excited about seeing these industries converge and change and evolve, and we're excited to continue to support it.
Well, I'm looking forward to our next podcast, but for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks so much, Doug.